Forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Temperatures out there beginning to cool down, especially in areas where we are seeing those clouds clear out. See this kind of grayish color here? That's where we still have cloud cover. So from about Champaign over to Danville. But look how it's cleared out in Springfield, Jacksonville, down near Taylorville. And as a result, much cooler temperatures. 22 in Springfield and Jacksonville, where we've got less cloud cover. And then where more cloud cover is, we've still got these upper 20s and even 30s here from Danville down to Paris. And everybody eventually going to be cooling off, though, as temperatures dip down to the teens to start out tomorrow morning. But we're dry. We've got to talk about some rain that could be around for your weekend. We'll do that in the forecast. Coming up, WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
One of the A strains, which is not a 100% match with the vaccine that is going around right now.
But experts say that doesn't mean you shouldn't get the flu shot.
Plus, Champaign County Animal Control is at capacity after more than 80 dogs were seized. Why it's now asking for help.
It was a sea of green at a basketball game tonight, all in support of one family.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
We've seen a lot of people coming in this year to get the flu shot, a lot more than last year.
As peak flu season approaches, doctors are warning you to protect yourself and your family against the virus. But this year, the shot is not working for everyone. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. There's a strain in this year's flu vaccine that isn't a match for one that's infecting people. But there are many different kinds of influenza that can still be prevented by the shot. So doctors are still pushing the message, get vaccinated. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is with us. Jennifer, we haven't quite hit peak flu season yet.
Jessica, not yet. It typically starts during January and February, so doctors recommend getting the shot as early as October and into November for the most effective prevention.
Coughing, fever, chills, muscle aches, and fatigue, all symptoms of the flu. Every year, doctors recommend getting the vaccine to combat the virus.
The effectiveness of vaccine is not 100%. We know that, but it is the best defense that we have.
Each year, the CDC and other government agencies predict which flu strains could be prevalent and decide which ones to put into the vaccine. This time around, they chose 4, 2A and 2B strains.
The tricky part is that every single year there is slight mutations in the virus.
One of the A strains was not a match for a mutation that's been infecting some people. That means some are still getting sick even though they've received the shot that contains inactive strains of the flu. But that doesn't mean the vaccine is completely ineffective. The other strains will still target the virus. The Champaign-Urbana Public Health Department says there are other reasons people may be getting sick after getting the shot.
It takes almost 2 weeks to build the immunity with the vaccine. So if you take the vaccine today, you may get exposed to the flu from somebody else tomorrow, and you will still get sick.
So health professionals are still recommending people get the shot, not just for your health, but for other safety as well.
If you get the flu, it can be dangerous, especially to those around you. Not necessarily to you, but if you have like a newborn baby at home or an elderly relative, somebody who has cancer, who's immunocompromised, then you're putting them at risk.
Many local hospitals and schools I contacted today in Central Illinois said they have not seen a significant number of people getting infected by the flu so far this year. Back to you.
Good information. All right, Jennifer, thank you. A group showed overwhelming support for the family of an Urbana firefighter tonight. His son died unexpectedly. Dozens dressed in green in remembrance of 11-year-old Daniel Ennis. He died on Monday from a medical emergency. Ennis was a 6th grader at Unity Junior High. There was a donation bucket set up at tonight's basketball game to support the family with whatever they need. They raised $4,000. As his dad looks back on his son's life, he's reminded of all the wonderful things he saw in his son.
The most kind-hearted kid you'd ever see. First one for a hug. First one to ask you how your day was. He never met a stranger. The kid his heart was so huge, and he loved everyone. No one was ever left out with him.
Urbana firefighters also set up an online meal train account where people can help the Ennis family. That link is posted on WCIA.com.
Here's a follow-up from last night. A Decatur firefighter is recovering after being hurt in a house fire. It happened near West Garfield and Taylor Streets. Firefighters say flames were blowing out of every opening on the home. Crews were there for more than 3 hours. In the process, the floor gave way where one of the firefighters was standing. He twisted his ankle.
He's doing fine. Of course, he'll have follow-up treatment, but fortunately, it wasn't too serious.
Deputy Chief says it's not common for firefighters to get hurt on duty with their department, but it happens. The cause of the fire isn't being investigated. Firefighters say the house was destroyed. Fire crews had a garbage truck dump everything it was hauling on the side of the road after it was smoking. The truck's drivers saw the smoke east of Sydney and called the fire department. They found a barrel that was burning. It's not clear what was inside.
A 16-year-old was sentenced today for bringing a gun to Centennial High School in Champaign. A school resource officer found it in his backpack. He was being investigated at the time for involvement in a theft. The Department of Juvenile Justice hasn't decided how long he will be there for. Two moms in Decatur say their children's safety was put on the line. They say their kids got on school buses to come home, but were dropped off at the wrong stops. One of these cases happened this week. Both mothers say they've sent emails, filed complaints, and contacted the district. One parent met with the head of transportation for Decatur schools and a representative with All-Town Bus Service, but she wasn't satisfied with their solutions, so now she plans to talk to an attorney.
Policy changed, for sure. That's our main goal, is policy change to make sure, like we said, nothing like this ever happens again.
The school district sent a statement. It says in part, quote, "We are actively working to fix the problem with Alltown and establish new procedures."
A woman in Vermilion County is thanking some workers for helping her and her daughter after a crash. It happened Monday at the S-curve on 150 heading toward Danville. This is what happened to her van. Take a look. She put a message on Facebook thanking the angels who came to her rescue Monday afternoon. She says these people stopped to let her family warm up in their truck and used towels to stop her daughter's head from bleeding. The woman then went on a quest to find out who these people were so she could thank them. The people who helped say it was just the right thing to do.
Her daughter had lost her shoes. And so I was like, and she kept saying how it was cold and it was just snowing. And I was like, well, we have a minivan, so we might as well get them in there to warm up.
The whole time I just wanted to talk to her, make sure she stayed calm so she wouldn't, like, you know, panic or anything, because I just want to let her know everything was going to be okay.
All these people stayed with the woman and her daughter until an ambulance arrived. They said they didn't expect any kind of thank you, but they happened to see the post on the woman's Facebook page. They hope anyone else would do the same. We have an update about 80 dogs taken from a home in Champaign. Many were taken to Champaign County Animal Control, which put it over capacity. The dogs were taken from the home because of poor living conditions. 20 of those dogs were transferred to a shelter in Terre Haute for adoption. That left 60 at Animal Control. Champaign's capacity is 45, but it needs to keep the dogs because they have to recover before they can move to a shelter.
We are on a budget. Our funds are funded through the county budget and also through the contracts we have with the cities for impoundment. But we're always very tight on our budgets, and so actually maybe many folks might not know we do take donations. Some people have contributed just bags of food for both cats and dogs.
The dogs' owners have relinquished ownership, so the adoption process can start for the dogs that are already physically ready.
New for you tonight, the Heron restaurant in Danville is closing. The business on Vermilion Street opened back in February. It was vandalized last month. The front window was shattered. The owners posted on Facebook saying this was a much bigger undertaking than they expected. The vandalism made it even harder to operate. They will still honor parties booked for the holidays, but the rest of the business is shut down. Houlihan's Restaurants filed for bankruptcy today, but the Champaign location won't be affected. The company was bought by Landry's, who owns more than 60 brands. Houlihan's corporate says independent franchises won't be affected, and the Champaign location is one of those. The sale will be done by the end of the year.
After serving more than 40 years in the state legislature, Senate President John Cullerton's retiring. He broke the news to Senate Democrats today. He said he promised his wife he'd retire after 39 years of duty when he turned 70 and when there was a Democratic governor. Cullerton said he'd step down in January, but there's no exact date just yet.
You probably played with Legos before, but we bet it wasn't like this, what kids turn them into.
Plus, part of one village was left in the dark this morning, how the community stepped up to help.
And Athletic Director Josh Whitman will stay with Illinois for a few more years. How much he's being paid to do it.